It feels like the beat-em-up genre has been slowly on the decline the past few years. What was once a thriving genre back in the arcade, 8-bit and 16-bit days, in recent time has slowly started to fade away. You could make the argument that the natural evolution became character action games, ones like Devil May Cry and Platinum Games, but 2D beat-em-ups never really came back, not even for a lot of indies. The last time I can truly remember people loving a 2D beat-em-up was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World back in 2010. But even then, that game has since been delisted and many fans have a big hole remaining because of that. But earlier this year, Wayforward and Arc System Works announced River City Girls, not only a follow-up to River City Ransom, but a brand new beat-em-up in a retro style that got people talking, and myself included. I was interested in this one, not only to scratch that beat-em-up itch, but with Arc System Works and Wayforward, they have a pretty good track record, so I was willing to take the plunge. And the final result? Let's find out. Our story revolves around Kyoko and Mizuno, who receive a text showing that their boyfriends, Riki and Kunio, heroes from the original River City, are now kidnapped. So they make their way out of the school and beat up everyone in town in order to find their boyfriends, and really the plot never goes past that, for better and worse. Your mission is always consistent and they don't really get sidetracked, but at the same time there's a lot of go after this guy, then you beat him up, and then they have no idea who your boyfriends are, rinse and repeat over and over, which is a little annoying, but to be fair, this game isn't really focused on story, so let's move on. The game is pretty much a 2D isometric open world beat 'em up. You go into rooms, clear out every enemy in your way by performing attacks with light and heavy buttons. You can kick enemies while they're down, throw them, use weapons, and just mess up their day any way you see fit. When you beat enemies up, they'll drop money that you can use to buy health refills to use later, equipment for slight stat changes, and most importantly, new moves that you can use with a special gauge. You can also earn new moves by leveling up, such as Stomp from earlier and Dab. Yep. But you also help people accomplish tasks around town in order to open up new areas, fight the boss, and move on to the next one. The game also supports local co-op with 2 players, where you can toggle friendly fire on or off. Now to talk about presentation, I love it. Wayforward is always fantastic when it comes to their sprite work, and this is no exception. Characters are just swimming in fluid animation, tons of great expressions, and it all looks fluid. You also get these manga cutscenes that go into character backstories, and these are a great stylistic choice that show up once in a while, and I don't feel like it gets overused that much. You also have animations before each boss fight introducing them, which makes it feel like a big event. And the voice acting is great stuff too. Nothing is played that seriously, and the actors just play up the ridiculousness of the world, and everyone has a mouth on them alright. And they're not afraid to give each other a piece of it, and it's great. Definitely enjoyable meeting new characters each time in an area, or how the main 2 talk to each other in their character UI while you're in-game. I love that design choice. Also, can I just say, I love the character design. I really enjoy the bosses, our leading ladies, and how every single shop owner is different and has unique voice actors. I love that attention to detail. I also love the girls in the shops as well, being bored waiting for the other one to get done, both messing with the guy at retail and he's having none of it. As someone who's worked in retail, that is such a mood. I feel you, dude. And then of course, these faces. Single greatest screenshot from the game. I love it so much. Also, you can tell Wayforward has a type, cause some of the shop owners, you can tell they spent a lot of, oh my god, you could make an entire extended family barbecue on that grill. Oh my word. Anyway, the soundtrack. Yes, the soundtrack is good stuff. Great retro-styled songs that get you into a certain mood that just works with this game so well. The standout ones, however, are the vocal tracks. Ones like Bully and The Hunt, these were easily the best of the bunch. And when these played, it honestly enhanced the game by a lot. These were probably some of the most memorable moments of the game for me. And what I love is that you fight this one musical artist in the game later called Noise. And then it becomes clear all the music tracks are done by her, so it has an in-game reason. I love that world building so much. But I do have my issues with the game. For one, I think too many actions are linked to the light punch button, and I can't count the amount of times I was fighting off some enemies and then I suddenly was in another room or went to a shop or talked to somebody when I didn't intend to at all. It got frustrating because it happened way more than I would have liked. I also found a lot of the gear to not be that exciting. It's only small changes to your character, and frankly I hardly noticed them, which made some of the prices for them feel really high considering how little they gave. Speaking of which, I don't really like that in shops you can't tell what an item does until after you buy it, which honestly just feels like an excuse for you to buy everything, but it feels unnecessary, which again makes me not really want to go for the accessories because I don't know what it does and it probably won't even affect me that much. Adding on to this, I really wish there was a training room to test out moves before you buy them. Several action games have this now, and I would have loved to have a feature like that because these things get expensive real quick. Bosses are also kind of hit or miss. I love the final two ones, these were easily the best ones for me, but other ones just felt frustrating or uneventful. The fashion designer was easily my least favorite because of the limited movement and how easily you get comboed. It was not a fun time. And a big bummer for some is that the game doesn't have online play currently. Unless you do something like PS4 Game Share or Parasect on PC, it's strictly local, which is a shame honestly. I really wish there was some kind of online because this game shines at its most with multiplayer. It's perfectly fine on your own, but it's so clear it's meant to be played with a buddy. And maybe we can see this in the future, I'm crossing my fingers on that one. So in the end, River City Girls is a pleasant time, but I won't lie, it's a pretty standard beat-em-up experience. It doesn't offer that much from other beat-em-ups, and in some ways, I feel like it's paying a little too homage to older games with some backwards design decisions. But it does have great presentation, charm, and it's really one of the only new beat-em-ups out there currently. If you're gonna play it by yourself, I would really only recommend it if you're interested on it or wait for a sale. Because while there is some extra content after beating the game, it does feel a little shallow playing it by yourself. However, if you got a buddy and if you're down for some local co-op, I can definitely recommend it for that. And for sure it's where you're going to get the most out of it. I'm really hoping we get that online in the future, then it would become an easier recommendation. Or you can be one of those people where the dab move is enough to get them to buy the game, and if you're one of those people, well, more power to you I guess.